Sibiya, 5th of April 2024, has not helped, as it is common cause that Lieutenant Generals Sibiya and Khumalo are not in good terms.
When you say not in good terms, do you mean at that time when the request was made in April 2024, or what you know now?
At that time when I requested the promise to intervene, but then I realized it's not working because the other one is not complying. And as commonly known, generally it was known the relationship is not healthy at all.
Okay. 105, here you just speak about your relationship with Major General Mbuso Khumalo.
I further checked my phone and realized that I have communicated with Major General Mbuso Khumalo on other matters on 3 dates. In 2 of these calls, I was passing over a complaint from members of the public who contacted me on matters under the provincial detective jurisdictions. This kind of sharing information is a regular occurrence where you receive information and pass it over. I have communicated information to the provincial commissioners and divisional commissioners when such information was brought to my attention, which does not fall under the mandate of the DPCI. That is what collaboration is all about.
Then 106.
I don't associate myself with criminality. I took an oath on 11 May 1984, and I have always respected that oath. I took another oath of office on the 1st of June 2018, and I have abided by that oath until the 31st of May 2025 under the oversight of 2 DPCI judges. I will never betray my oath even when I am out of the system. I love this country, which is the only one that I have. I have worked and applied and competed for each rank that I held in the police, except the DNC position. It is prudent to recall that Section 199, Subsection 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, instruct that no member of any security service may obey a manifestly illegal order. No commissioned officer should consciously believe that commissioned officers can take a manifestly unlawful instruction unless it is an admission that he or she takes manifestly unfair instructions.
Unlawful. You said
unlawful
unfair.
Instruction.
Yes. Thank you. Then the next topic is the activities that transpired on 6 December 2024. This relates specifically to your involvement and the allegations that have been made about DPCI interference in the takedown on 6 December. Can start at 107.
The 6th December 2024 was a normal day for me as the national head of the DPCI. Over and above the work that I normally execute, I also had to preside over the DPCI annual Excellent Award celebrations. I still had to do other work, and the telephone call started at 06:59 and ended at 22:29 with 49 calls. On the other side, messages on WhatsApp and SMS will continue. The emails addressed to me, and I in turn simultaneously forwarded the same to Lieutenant General Mboto and Major General Kadwa, in whose jurisdiction the area resort, to rush to the scene to verify and, if correct, to catch the persons pretending to be from the Hawks in the act. All police officials are bound to comply with and only with lawful instructions. The instruction was never to unlawfully interrupt the legal operation.
Then at 110, you can omit reading the cell phone numbers into the record. We'll just call the 083 number and the 065 number.
The calls received from Malcolm X were from two numbers, the 083 number and the 065 number. When he first called me, he used the cell phone that was saved on my phone, which is the 083 number, from 1543 up to 1623. At 1629, he used one that was not saved on my phone, which is 065 number, which he identified by sending a message reading Malcolm X. He used this second line from 1629 to 1717. He reverted to his first one at 1748. For communication of this day, I also include communication with Lieutenant General Mboto and Major General Kadwa for completeness. These communications were as follows.
What I propose is that we deal with these messages when we deal with the cross-examination. It is on record. And I would also want to ask you, if you still have those messages, if you could give us screenshots of the actual WhatsApps as opposed to how it is here typed out in your, so that we will be able to flight it for the public and for the commissioners when we deal with this evidence, if you don't mind doing that.
I'll do that, Commissioners.
Thank you. I would like to just ask you to highlight certain aspects of the communication between you and Malcolm X, which has not previously been before us, because what we knew is that between General Kadwa, General Mboto, and yourself, you were sending them messages, but they weren't always able to establish where you got that information from, and it seems that the information came from Malcolm X in your communication with him. One of those refers to, if you look at the address, like you say, at 1551, so we're on page 81. The address came from Malcolm X to you, which you then forwarded to General Mboto and to General Kadwa, correct?
That is correct, Commissioners.
And then at 1608, Malcolm X forwarded a registration of a vehicle to you, starting with MB.
That's correct, Commissioner.
And he sent a message thereafter at 1609, a message that the car registration that was at that of the people who were at the scene, and he says their car registration general. So he was sending you the registration number of one of the vehicles being used by the police officers on the scene. Is that correct?
That is correct, Commissioner.
Can I just ask whether you had requested this from him during your call, or whether it was information that he was volunteering, the registration numbers?
I think that I shall have asked to what types of cars were there. The way you were describing the cars, I needed to be knowing, or do they have registration number, they marked and the like. So he sent the registration number.
And also on page 82 at 1715, he sends you again a message with vehicle registration and the make and model of the vehicles. And it comes after there's a missed call by him, but just before that, it's not before that, at 1649 you received a call from him for 1 minute, and then there's a missed call at 1714 from him. But then he sends you those vehicle registration and the make and model of the vehicle. Do you recall why he would have sent that to you?
The allegation was that these are impersonators. We were not sure if they are police. These cars are not marked. Some of them do not have registration. So those that have got registration, he was sending those registrations.
No, the two at 1715, those were the vehicles, it says above two. So if you look at the message at 1717, he says the above two cars just arrived and confirmed they were sent by you, General. And that he refers to the BMW and the Golf GTI.
Yes, so it means where the Hawks officials who have arrived at the scene.
Did he want you to confirm that these are your guys because they say they were sent by you?
I haven't asked him any further to provide the others that are coming, but I think the original message that I needed to know, the registration of those vehicles, he just continued to send whatever vehicles that are arriving.
Okay, and then at 1748, at the bottom of that page, page 82, it is a duty, gentlemen, our policemen, and King Nyambose really appreciates all your efforts, General. It is a duty that the policemen you sent were not allowed inside. It is a pity that the policemen you sent were not allowed inside the yard and the house. Who is he referring to as the king?
I don't know King Nyambose, but this seems to be a clan name for Mthethwa, but it appears that way. But he say King Nyambose. I don't know this King Nyambose.
Did you speak to Mr. Mthethwa that day?
Myself?
Yes.
I did not speak to Mr. Mthethwa. I spoke to Malcolm.
But do you know Mr. Mthethwa?
I don't know Mr. Mthethwa.
And if he says he knows you, that would not be true.
People may know me.
Not from TV, as in you are bras, you are friends.
No, I don't know Mr. Mthethwa.
And do you know why he would refer to him as King Nyambose to you as though you should know who that is?
I don't know why he mentioned King Nyambose to me. I don't know King Nyambose.
And then if we go to page 83, at 1840, General Kadwa forwards a message to you, you say, that reads incident report. I just want to understand, had you requested an incident report from either General Kadwa or General Mboto?
I did not request. It's a normal practice that when you have done particular assignment, executed a particular assignment, you should give feedback so that one is comfortable that the assignment has been executed. So he forwarded this as it was forwarded to him.
Okay. Then you say at 21:32, Malcolm X calls me for 3 minutes. That's the second last entry. What were you discussing with him?
He was obviously still talking about the operation that took place, which he was appreciating the fact that we attended.
Oh, so that was the full extent of the 3-minute conversation?
But that was conversation relating to the operation.
Okay, then if, like I said, we'll deal with this timeline in detail when we get to cross-examination. But could I then ask you to do paragraph 111?
It is important to mention that at 1747, our communication office had already shared on our DPCI WhatsApp group a message sent with my picture of the DPCI Awards podium, reading the DPCI Excellence Award underway in Pretoria East, where National Head gave an encouraging address to all attending, including stakeholders of international law enforcement agencies, sponsors, and provincial management. At this time, I had already addressed the delegates on item number 5 of the formal proceedings, which was honoring retirees.
And then 112?
An insinuation that all of these layers of police leadership were to execute an unlawful instruction by commissioned officers is highly irresponsible. The statement by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi indicating that fortunately, when they arrived there, the members realized that it is indeed police operation, So they allowed the members to carry out their operation without disturbances, as logically assured him that they were not dispatched to unlawfully interrupt. I have in the past assigned 11 officials from the DPCI to assist the political killing task team. One of them was a Brigadier Ngwenya who was based in Mpumalanga DPCI, oversaw investigation. I was the chairperson of the National Steering Committee of the PKTT. I applied for my first top secret security clearance certificate on 26th of January 1999, which I have indicated the time that it was issued, while I was a senior superintendent, and I've always received one after another every 5 years, with the current one expiring on the 30th of June 2029. I attach a top secret security clearance certificate which is classified. No issue was ever raised about my credibility.
Then if we can go to page 87, a new topic, the establishment of the PKTT. And in our discussions before you started with your testimony this morning, you had indicated that much of what you say here has already been covered by witnesses who previously gave evidence, and all that you will do for purposes of this topic. So that would be the establishment of the PKTT, the formation of the NSC, continuing all the way up to, I think we had said, page 94, you would just summarize your involvement in the PKTT formation and not overlap with the evidence that had previously been given.
Thank you, Commissioners. Indeed, from 2018, I participated in the process of establishment and continuation of political killing task team. When I came in, appointed, it was already there. They started in May, but then I came in and then I participated, which is why I also assigned members of the DPCI to go and assist. One member of the DPCI was in charge of the investigation leg of the team, all of them reporting to Dr. Ramadzweli. At the time, who was from the detective service as Major General. So I continued, and then when in 2019, a need arose to establish the National Steering Committee, the National Commissioner suggested during the meeting of the ministers that I should coordinate that. So I took that responsibility and worked on that. And when COVID-19 set in, we also had to meet virtually and the like. So that is how I continued to support the political killing task team. And there was time when there were some difficulties that were raised regarding the continuation or the phasing out of the political task team. Ours was just to comment and the like, to send the recommendation further to the National Commissioner. So I think that is, in short, my involvement in the political killings task team.
Thank you, General. Could I ask you at paragraph 121, you mentioned that on 1 August 2020, I requested a meeting with the Deputy National Commissioner. Can you just tell us about, explain that to us, please? Or you can actually read it into the record, but I just want to ask you 1 or 2 questions about that.
On the 1st of August 2020, I requested a meeting with the Deputy National Commissioner, Policing, by then was Lieutenant General Masemola, for handing over this function, as I felt that it was not in the mandate of the DPCI and could be handled by the greater service.
And what was that function?
The chairing of this National Steering Committee. I was assisting, but this thing is taking a lot of time, whereas it doesn't belong in the DPCI. We are supporting that, but I felt that the greater service can deal with that.
And why was the request made to the Deputy National Commissioner Policing at the time, which now we know is the National Commissioner, but at that time he wasn't the National Commissioner?
When this political killing task team started, they started under the Divisional Commissioner of Operational Services, which was Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi before moving to KwaZulu-Natal. These were always held in that space. So General Masemulo was in that environment. As Deputy National Commissioner, Operational Response is in that space. So that is the first call that I was making. It will also be seen that at a later stage, I also approached the Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection, that in their environment, they should be taking this responsibility and handling it.
Thank you. And then paragraph 124 on page 91.
124. On the 13th of April 2021, I wrote to the National Commissioner General Sithole to discuss the view held on the political killings task team. In paragraph 4 of my note, I indicated as follows. The teams which are located in KwaZulu-Natal and Limpopo are now well established and fully operational, and it has become very clear that the work and the investigation will continue for an extended time. Major General J.K. Mudubazi, who was the head of the executive support in the Office of the National Commissioner, indicated on the 15th of April 2021 that the meeting to be placed on the diary of the National Commissioner.
Okay, and then 125?
On the 18th of June 2021, Major General Dumisani Samuel Khumalo submitted an information note detailing the required cost of the PKTT. The Deputy National Commissioner for Policing, Lieutenant General Masemola, recommended that overtime can be down-managed. The late Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, Lieutenant General Slindile Christopher Mfazi, commented on the 28th of June 2021 as follows. This matter needs to be clarified as to where does this investigation is being managed by the division detectives or the DPCI. I recommended the noting of performance report for period July 2018 to June 2021. The report also reflected the budget for the PKTT for the period of 1st July 2018 to 30 June 2022 as 217,413,745 rands, with actual expenditure as 209,043,558 rands, excluding salaries and allowances.
And then 126?
From July 2021, a similar but more demanding task came my way, as I had to put task teams to deal with the July unrest in affected provinces. A virtual meeting that was being attended by the DPCI and the NPA was held daily for a year, which I had to chair.
You don't have to continue that. I just wanted to find out, was this the same task team that Brigadier Nyuswa was on for the July unrest?
I have been working with the provincial heads. I'm not sure if lower down Nyuswa was also part. He shall be part because it is the organized crime. So I will be dealing with General Sinona, and General Sinona will deal with Nyuswa and the other members of the team. But it was July unrest the affected provinces.
And then at paragraph 127, you deal with an issue about the continuation or termination of the PKTT. And you say that General Khumalo wrote to you and the DNC policing, who at the time was General Masimola, on the 16th of February 2022. And then you speak about a virtual meeting on 1 March 2022. If you could continue from there, and then I want to find out from you, why was there this discussion about the continuation of the PKTT in February 2022?
General Masimola, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, 2022, a related virtual meeting was held. The attendees were Lieutenant General Masimola, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, Deputy National Director of Public Prosecution, the late Advocate De Kock, Advocate Governor, Advocate Johnson, Advocate Mashamaide, Major General Dumisani Khumalo, Major General Samuel Manala from Limpopo, Major General Jan Skiepers, and myself. Apology from Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, Lieutenant General Elizabeth Nchinga was noted. The agenda included item 2.2 for consideration of handing over of the coordination to the DNC crime detection.
And the DNC crime detection, there was the person that had apologized for not attending. Or who was it then?
That is correct. It was Lieutenant General Nchinga at the time.
Yes. Can I just understand what was the discussion about the continuation or termination of the PKTT then in March 2022?
There were issues that were raised, concerns as to whether this political killing task team should continue or should cease to exist. So that was tabled for consideration. It would appear that there were already concerns as to why this task team will continue.
Okay, thank you. Then if we can go to paragraph, it's a new topic, and Chair, I see that it's 2 minutes to 1. Shall we take the adjournment?